Sita Rama. I'm going to tell you all the story of the birth of Ramayana. What is the birth of Ramayana? How was Ramayana born? Who is the mother of Ramayana? What is this all about? Okay, so let's see the story. So once upon a time, long ago, there was a rishi by name Valmiki. He got the name Valmiki because he did a lot of tapas and there was an ant hill that grew on top of him. This ant hill in Sanskritam is called Valmikam. So one day when Varuna or the rain god decided to pour on that ant hill, it melted away in the rain, and from there came a rishi. A rishi emerged from there. He was doing so much tapas that people forgot about him because there was an ant hill on top of him. So this rishi, because he came from Valmikam, he was called Valmiki. One day this rishi was in his ashram and he was thinking, why am I not able to do tapas today? Why is my mind wandering? What am I thinking about? He was in a deep thought, but he was not able to do his tapas. At that time, Sage Narada came in there. Sage Narada came in and he asked, Valmiki Maharishi, what is bothering you today? What are you thinking about so much? So Valmiki Maharishi said, oh, thank you Sage Narada, you have come here today. Please answer this question for me. I have so many questions in my mind. Do you know of any one person who is very truthful, who sticks to his dharma? He protects his dharma and his people's dharma. He is not weak because he is in his dharma. That doesn't mean he is weak. He is very strong. He is capable of protecting people. He is very, he can get angry when he wants to, but he knows to control his anger. He should be very loving and he should be forgiving also. And what else? I want him, he should be very learned. Is there one person who knows all of this, who is all of this? When Sage Valmiki asked all these questions to Sage Narada smiled because he came here only to talk to him about it. So he said, yes, indeed, there is a person like this. And he is none other than our own Rama. He said, this Rama exists here in this world today, because Sage Valmiki had also asked, this person should not be someone who existed 10,000 years ago. This person existed in the heavens. This person is there in the heavens or something like that. He should be someone whom I can go and visit. Like if I say, there is a person and you have, for verification, you can go walk, see that person and come, no? So, or take a bike or go by plane, go visit that person and come. So, this person should be in this world and now in such a way that I can go and visit the person. Is there someone like that? So, Sage Narada said, yes, of course, that is Rama. He is the king of Ayodhya and he is in the lineage of Ikshvakus. So, Ikshvaku is the, the family name. Okay, so there was one person by name Ikshvaku. His son is number 2 Ikshvaku, number 3 Ikshvaku, number 4 Ikshvaku. So the grandson, and then comes our Rama. So he comes in the Ikshvaku Vamsha, which is also the Sun dynasty. Okay, so he says all this and he says, let me tell you the story of Rama. And he quickly narrates the story of Rama, saying, Rama is very, very truthful. He always sticks to his dharma. He protects his people and he protects the dharma of all the others. He also is very learned. He's learned all the Vedas. He's a specialist in Dhanurveda. People love him. At the same time, he is not someone they can take for granted. He has this dynamic personality where if someone needs help, they can approach him, but they just can't come and say, hey Rama, and put their hand on his shoulders. He's not like that also. So they were talking about he spoke about all his characters and he said, this Rama was born in the Ikshvaku dynasty. Then he was born, he's the son of King Dashratha. And Dashratha had 3 wives and and he told the entire story. Now, Sage Valmiki listened to the entire story very intently. Oh, oh, all this happened. And he heard all the story. After hearing the story, he sat by himself and he was in thinking about Rama. Oh, Rama must have looked so good. Rama must be looking so good. Oh, Rama was so kind to people. He always offered help. Oh, his wife is Sita. Wow. Look at how, just think about it. He was so strong. He could defeat all his enemies. So he was thinking about all of this and his mind was meditating on Rama. Without Valmiki's knowledge, he was already doing tapas, but his tapas was thinking about Rama. After that, he went for his Madhyanika Snan. Now, Valmiki's ashram was on the banks of river Tamasa. So what is this Madhyanika Snan? See, they all did puja 3 times a day, okay? One is the early morning when the night was going and the sun was, and the dawn, at the dawn hour, okay? And the sun, as in there was going to be sunrise, at that point in time, they did one puja which was called Prata Sandhya Vandana. Then they did puja right in the, at that time when the sun was right on top, which is the noon, okay, which is the Madhyanika Snan. And then the third one was the time when the day was going and the night was setting in at the dusk, okay. So this was Sayam Sandhya. So the sun, these 3 times they always did puja. So for Madhyanika Snan, for doing the puja, Valmiki Maharishi was going to the Tamasa river. On the way in the forest, he saw a beautiful tree. For him, everything looked lovely. Oh, look at that tree. He was in a dreamy state. He was thinking about Rama all the time. Imagine we could also think about Rama all the time and everything will look so lovely, right? So he was going like that and he saw 2 beautiful birds that were playing with each other. When they were playing with each other, one hunter suddenly hit the male bird. And the male bird fell down and the female bird started crying. Oh, he's my friend, he's my best friend. How can this hunter hit the bird? And it started crying. It cried so pathetically that Valmiki Maharishi felt very bad. He felt so bad for the female bird. He said, Hey, Manishada Pratishtantavam Agama Shashwati Samaha Yat Krauncha Mitunadekam Avadi Kama Mohidam. He screamed at the hunter and he cursed him. And then he was taken aback. I never curse anybody. What happened to me? How can I curse? Who am I to curse? It is true that it is not the hunter's dharma to kill any animal or bird which is in a sport with its mate. Okay. So when a male bird and a female bird are playing, a hunter cannot kill it. Similarly, when let's say a deer, a male deer and a female deer are playing, the hunter should not kill it. That is the dharma of the hunter. And despite that, the hunter went and killed the male bird. So he deserved punishment. But is it supposed to be so harsh? Valmiki Maharishi questioned himself. How can I punish him? Who am I to punish him? Why did I curse him? How can I lose my temper? He was thinking all these things. Next he thought to himself, why did I say it in a shloka? When I am screaming at someone, I just scream at them. I just tell them, oh, you're so stupid. That is not right. Why did you do this? That's how I scream. But how can I just scream in the form, why is it like a shloka? How can I scream like that? How did that come out of my mouth? He was so perplexed that day. Then his disciple Bharadwaja was also next to him. Quickly, this disciple, he just by hearted that. He did that. And he quickly by hearted that. Then they went and they did their snan, they did their puja, they came back to the ashrama. This time when they came back, they had a bigger surprise. Guess who was in the ashrama? They had Brahma in the ashrama. So Brahma was there and they were like, Brahmaji has come. And they fell at his feet. They fell at his feet and they were like, Brahmaji, what has brought you here into our ashrama? How come you've made your arrival here? Please accept these fruits, please accept this water, and whatever else he had to offer that day. So they offered everything. Brahma smiled and he said, the entire family has visited you today. And Valmiki was, what? Entire family? He said, yes. First my son Narada came. He came and told you the story of Rama. Then my wife Saraswati entered your tongue. That's why you were able to recite a shloka. And after that, there was, and here I am, because both both the people of my family have come. I was missing them, so I also came here. It's like very happy to hear that all of them have come. And then he said, the shloka that you recited shall be the first shloka of Ramayana. I want you to write the entire Ramayana as narrated by Narada. He said, but Narada told me in 2 minutes. Sage Narada told me the entire story in 2 minutes. How can I write a full-blown epic with that? So he said, don't worry, I'll give you a boon. Now whatever you write will be true. You will be able to see whatever happened in Rama's life. Not just that. You'll be able to see what people were thinking also. If Rama thought, oh, I have to go meet Guha, then even that you will know. If Sita thinks, how will I tell Rama how to do this? So then that also you will know. Anybody thinks anything, you will get to know, and you will know the entire story of Rama, like as if you are having something in your hand. If I have this in my hand, I'll be able to see it, right? Similarly, you'll be able to see what is there in the entire Ramayana. Not just that, if you describe that there is a pond and in the pond there's a lotus and the lotus has come in full bloom, then know that it will be true, because those words are coming from me to you. Those words are my boon to you. Whatever you say will be true. And thus, Valmiki Maharishi started writing Ramayana. That is how Ramayana was born. What does Ramayana mean? Ramayana means where Rama resides. Ramasya Ayanam is Ramayanam. Wherever Rama resides is Ramayanam. So if you have a Ramayana book at home, know that Rama is also there in that. So give that respect, give the book that respect as you would give Rama. What are the other Ramayanas we know? So as such, there is only one Ramayana, which is this one. It is called a Itihasa. Itihasa means as it is. Something that is recorded as it is a Itihasa. Everything else is an inspiration of Ramayana. Like for instance, there is a Kamba Ramayanam. It's called Kambar's Ramacharita. Okay, so that is a inspiration. After reading Ramayanam, Kambar has written with his own feelings for Rama, with his own emotions. He has written the entire Ramayana. This is also blessed by Rama. It cannot be written by anybody else. Similarly, Ramcharitmanas by Tulsidas ji is also a blessing by Rama, which is in Hindi, but the original script is always Ramayana by Valmiki Maharishi, because it was written at the time that Rama was also there, and Rama has fully acknowledged this. Okay, so whatever story I'll be continuing about Ramayana will be from Valmiki's version. Sitaram.